Goodreads Book Tag. I cannot remember if I've done this tag before, but anyways, if I have, my answers have changed because of course I've read more books and done more challenges and done more Goodreadish things. Question 1 is, what is the last book that you marked as read? The last book that I marked as read is actually not the last book that I finished. However, the last book that I finished, I just finished a couple of days ago, so I haven't updated my Goodreads yet. So the last book that I marked as read on my Goodreads was A Court of Frost and Starlight by Sarah J. Maas, the novella in the A Court of Thorns and Roses series, to tide us over whilst we wait for her to release the actual 4th book and the bridging gap of the original trilogy with the new wondrous story that is going to transpire. Question 2 is, what are you currently reading? And that is A Darker Shade of Magic by V.E. Schwab. I really enjoy her writing style. I've only read her Verity series books, which is The Savage Song and Our Dark Duet, but I absolutely fell in love with her style of writing and of course the characters she creates and the stories, and so I decided to dive into A Darker Shade of Magic, which I've heard such wondrous things about. Question 3 is, what is the last book that you marked as to be read? That is a book that has actually just come out and I am so excited to get it. Now I of course wanted this book from the second that I finished the second book in the series, but I didn't actually add it to my TBR until recently when I was like, oh my gosh, it's coming out! And then I was like, oh, I need to add it to my Goodreads TBR. And that was A Reaper at the Gates by Sabatir. Question 4 is, what book do you plan on reading next? The next book I plan on reading is The Last Magician by Lisa Maxwell. However, I'm actually not entirely sure if I'm going to, simply because I've read a few time travel, world travel books this month, and I didn't realize when I chose my TBR that I'd done that. But basically in the book I just read, they were jumping from different time periods and different countries and different time periods, and now of course in A Darker Shade of Magic they're jumping from different Londons, and so this one is also a time travel jumpy different one. So I'm thinking perhaps maybe I won't read all the same theme during this month, so I plan to read The Last Magician next, but that might change. Question 5 is, do you use the star rating? And yes, I do. I feel like the star rating is one of the best things on Goodreads because at a glance, if you're wondering if you're gonna like a book or not, you can see the average star rating. At the end of the day, I do like to decide and make my own decisions on a book, so I'll probably read it even if it has a low star rating, if it's something that I want to read. But the star rating does help if I'm not sure if I want to read a book, and there it is just telling me how it is. And then also for myself, I of course have a system where I'm like 3 is bang in the middle of 1 to 5, it's bang in the middle, it's the average, I liked it, I didn't love it, I didn't hate it, it was okay, and then of course 4 and 5 are the woohoos, and 2 and 1 are the ehs. Question 6 is, are you doing a reading challenge this year? And the answer is yes, I am. I've done one for the past couple of years. I made it in 2016. My goal was just 30 books. You know, I was just getting into the swing of things. So I just set 30 books and I managed to hit it. Last year I set 40 books and I made it, but by the skin of my teeth, and I don't count it. Even though I made it, I definitely added 2 children's stories into that because I was like, well, you know what? I have read those books technically because I was covering at the nursery, but by children's stories I mean literally like 10-page stories, and I was just like, yes, I've made it, I've made my goal. So this year I've given myself the same amount, which is 40 books this year, because that would mean that I read 3 to 4 books a month, which is the goal that I am aiming for. So hopefully this year I can say with my head held high that I did read 40 books this year, not including children's books. Question 7 is, do you have a wish list? I actually haven't taken advantage of the wish list thing that I could create on Goodreads. I know what books I want, they're all sitting in the back of my mind. I do tend to add them to my TBR, even if they're not out yet, and that's kind of like what I wish to read in the future, but I don't actually have a wish list. Question 8 is, what book do you plan to read next? I have 2 books for this answer. The first book I have is a book that I went to get a while ago, but it wasn't yet in my bookstore, so they said to come back in a week, and that is Warstorm by Veronica Aveyard. And that is Warstorm by Warstorm, and that is Warstorm by Veronica Aveyard, and that is Warstorm by and that is Warstorm by Victoria And that is Warstorm by Victoria Aveyard, the 4th in the Red Queen series. But then I decided that I wasn't going to get it the next week. I was like, you know what, I'm going to have to go back to the bookstore again in a couple of weeks for A Reaper at the Gates. So the next 2 books I am buying will be Warstorm and A Reaper at the Gates. Question 9 is, do you have any favorite quotes? And the answer is yes. Yes, I do. I'm gonna tell you my top 4. I'm not sure if actually I favorited them all on Goodreads, but they are 4 of my favorite book quotes. In no particular order, one quote that I love from a book is "No mourners, no funerals," which is of course the Six of Crows motto, which is their way of saying good luck. I love "May the odds be ever in your favor," which is another way of saying good luck in the Hunger Games. And 2 definitely favorite, all-time favorite quotes would be "To the stars who listen and the dreams that are answered." And of course it's happening inside your head, Harry, but why on earth should that mean it isn't real? Question 10 is, who are your favorite authors? This is a difficult question, but I'm going to try and give my top 5, which is of course J.K. Rowling, Sarah J. Maas, Leigh Bardugo, V.E. Schwab, and Cassandra Clare. There are so many more I want to add right now, but those, I'm going to say, are the top 5. Question 11 is, have you joined any groups? I have actually joined a lot of groups, and I tend to be very active in the first few weeks that I'm in it, and then I just struggle to keep active in them, but I think that's because I'm just a part of so many. And the 12th and final question is there any question I want to add? And I cannot think of any off the top of my head, so I'm gonna say no. And that is all for the Goodreads Book Tag. I hope you enjoyed this video. Thank you so much for watching. If you did enjoy this video, please consider giving it a thumbs up, and if you like all my other videos, then please consider subscribing. And until next time, I'll see you. Bye!